Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where in the world you might be. Thank you for making us part of your day. It's a brand new week, but it's not just any ordinary week, people. It's North London Derby week. It started off pretty amazingly with our women's team this past weekend. Can Mikel Arteta and the lads duplicate? Let's roll.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another brand new week. Let's paint some pictures. Let's tell some North London Derby stories. And joining me for this fine Monday madness is my podcast brother from another mother, Mr. Super Kevin Campbell.
Squaddies, how are you? Long time no see. At ease, Squaddies.
Hello, Super Kev, looking as sprightly as ever this fine Monday. Good evening to everyone in the house. We've got the usual suspects here. Hello, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful, fabulous, incredible weekend. I'd like to start somewhere that isn't North London Derby related, but when I saw him tonight, I was like, this lad looks so ready for the weekend. Super Kev, God's child, comes on in the second half, 20 minutes to go, completely changes the trajectory of the game with his teammate, Mason Mount.
Yep. Come on, listen, when you bring substitutes on, you want them to make an impact. And Saka and Mason Mount were awesome. Obviously, Mason Mount doesn't play for Arsenal, so we're going to concentrate on Saka. It was good to see him look sharp. Good to see him be direct, and good to see him look hungry. So really hungry he looked. And do you know what? It just goes to show, stake a claim for him playing in his rightful position. Him playing in that position, wide right. He's got wonderful ability, and you see what he can do. He makes a difference. He's a difference maker. And you know what? At Arsenal, there's a lot of people saying now, oh, he hasn't started the season well and da-da-da. He's been just fine. He has. He's been just fine.
When he came on, Kev, I was like, why are you doing this to him? Why? I demand answers. No, you can't handle the truth. I want the truth. And then part of me was thinking, thank God Benjamin White's been spared of this and Ramsdale's not in goal. But after not being in goal after that Nick Pope faux pas, Ramsdale could find himself being the number 2 for England. But Kev, to be honest, I was like, we've got a North London derby. Wrap him up in cotton wool. Don't you dare let anything happen to this young man. Otherwise, I will spit blood, I tell you. It all ended up okay.
Well, it was a spirited. It was a spirited. Listen, it was a spirited fight back from England, which they needed. They really needed that. Would have been great to win, to have won it, especially with the Saka breakaway, which was a really good save by ter Stegen. But do you know what, Soph? Being 2 down, you virtually lost it anyway to a German side. So to come back and to see our boy Saka do the business,
it was great.
It's brilliant. And you know what? You're right. Ben White, the Brazilians have been able to train all this time. You know, they'll be able to train all week. We wrap them up when we're ready, train them when we're ready. You know, the racehorses, they're ready to go. Saka plays tonight. He's got plenty time to take his time and get ready for the North London derby, which is good.
Yes, indeed. Right. Gooners, here we go. North London derby. It started at the weekend with an absolute smashing of the enemy by the Arsenal women after a record-breaking attendance was created in the WSL. And the North London derby and the Arsenal fans made that happen. 50,000 plus, Kev, to watch the Gooners absolutely destroy Tottenham, and deservedly so. Brilliant start to North London derby week real quick. The women on top and looking good so far this season. Of course, it's very early doors, Kev, but a massive result.
Yeah, of course, it's always a huge result, huge crowd. You know, just I think it goes to show how much the women have made an impact from the Euros and support from a lot of the men, because obviously there's no football, so everyone wants to go and watch the girls do it, which is how it should be. So
Yeah.
you know, fair play to everybody for turning out, and I even believe Gianni Judges was there as well. I saw him there.
He was
You know,
posing at
which
his
you know, and a lot of the guys who usually go to the men's game and don't really get the opportunity to go to the women were there supporting the women, and the women delivered. That's what you
Yeah.
want. You want the women to deliver great performance, and you know, you could just see. Look, it's great for the Arsenal team to get that sort of support at home.
Yes.
You see the men get it, but you don't usually see the women get it. But to have that, but that's a bumper crowd, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
50 plus thousand. You know, that's
Really
great.
cool.
That's great support. And do you know what? The women stepped up to the plate and they performed in front of that crowd. It can freeze you,
Yeah.
but they delivered.
And I can see it evolving with 6 games being played at the Emirates this season, Super Kev. I can definitely see it evolving in terms of the cultural side of it, singing more songs, kind of engaging in that way. I think the only thing missing was a bit of atmosphere during the game, but that's going to come with the evolution of more people seeing the women's team, more people getting to know players, and, you know, more people kind of feeling like they have something to contribute to that environment.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a bit of time because the standing and it's the women's game is still playing catch up. Let's be honest.
Yep.
The men's game is dominated by men going to watch the men. A lot of this, when there's no men's football, is, as I said, it's great to see the men coming out to see the women, because that's what the game needs. The game needs both sets when they can, you know, women and men to go and watch it. But if we're honest, if the men are going to be supporting the men's game, and they could get to the women's when they can, we got to see the women support the women's team a bit more. And I know
Yeah.
that's difficult on a weekend, maybe shopping and children and stuff, but make it a family thing and bring the children. Do you know what I mean? I think that way it kind of makes it easier for everybody then to go along, as opposed to, you know, the men go and leave the women
Yeah,
at
it's
home
going to
type of thing, you
become,
know.
it's going to
It's going
be
to
a
take a bit of
new,
time.
it's going to take time for things to continue to evolve and grow. That was a great first look. It's going to be also down to the WSL, the TV networks, and the clubs to market the heck out of the game. The Premier League became the Premier League after the influx of money. The Division One was great, but the what we've seen since the Premier League was incepted in '92 is pure marketing dollars, and money changed the game and made the league in England the best. So I think we're seeing men and women and kids. It's a nice, diverse audience that is going to these matches, and long may it continue. So the women laid down the gauntlet for North London Derby. Yes, Super Kev.
And also, Soph, the fans are sat near each other. The fans are sat in between each other, which is, I know you're not going to get that in the men's game, but in the women's game, that is so refreshing that the crowd can mingle and watch a game of football and there not be any problems. That's a massive tick in the box, Soph. Huge tick in the box.
Indeed, it is. 200 plus of you in live chat this fine Monday. For those listening on our audio platforms and on replay, thank you so much for joining myself and Super Kevin Campbell here. This is day 3 of our 8 days of the North London Derby. As I said, it started off with the women. Super Kev is here this evening. The title of the show is It's the Players, because when we have Kev here, we want him to always take us beyond the pitch and the white lines into the dressing room. And I want to know, and I want to start from the very, very beginning. When it's North London Derby week, by the way, Kev, not only did you have them chasing you, found this glorious picture. Not only did you have them chasing you when you played for the Arsenal, but you also had them chasing you when you were playing for the Toffees and captain there. That's Darren Anderton and
Chris Perry.
Chris Perry. Wow. Who used to play for Palace as well at one point, didn't he,
Yeah.
Chris Perry?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah. So, Kev, it's North London Derby week. You're playing up front for the Gunners. You've played in massive games. Another one I stole from the Getty. They make a ton of money. They're all right. This is Kev going up for a header. Looks like you're kicking Gary Mabbott in the face there, Kev, which I've got no problem with whatsoever.
That's
Is that Gary down there?
That's Eric Torsfed's leg.
Yeah, but no, the player in front is. Oh, that is.
Come on.
Totally.
Come on. Look at my legs. You can see my legs there, obviously.
Kev, it's North London Derby week. How could I mistake your legs, by the way? Talk me through it. What's happening? It's Monday. You've come in to training. How's the tone set for this week? Is it different to every other week?
No, it's the fortnight, really, because as soon as you break and everyone goes on international duty, you know what the next game is. You know it's the North London Derby. Everyone inside the training ground is talking about it. But the key to being a player and professional is you do your work and you concentrate and you train just how you normally would. That's what you try and do. You try and keep it the same. What's been happening with the training and the team, it's been working, Soph. So, yeah, Saliba's not there and Saka and Ramsdale's not there and everything, but you'll have a group of players there who will be training and working towards the weekend. And that's what you do. You don't try and get overhyped. You just try and tone it down because you know as the weekend starts approaching, the media and the hype starts to increase. So you've got to try and keep it down and level as much as you can. But it's always there, always.
Even though maybe as a team kind of vibe at that start, in your mind, you personally, outside of what's happening with regards to team organization, schedule, and all that stuff, are you mentally thinking about it differently when you come into training on that first day when it's close, or no?
No. You got to remember, this is what you do. So playing games, you've played big games before. You've not as if you haven't played them before. You've played the North London Derby before, etc. You're at home. So, if you stick to your routine, are you going to be thinking about it and probably going to be speaking of there's more tickets going to be needed? I mean, at one North London Derby, Soph, I needed about 60 tickets, you know what I mean? So you do get inundated with tickets and stuff like that. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It means a lot for a lot of people. And you being a player, you try and accommodate as many people as you can. But you've got to try and not blank it out, because it's difficult to blank it out. But try and stick to your routine as best you can. Because you know what? The moment you start doing something different, it throws you out of kilter.
Yeah. Even as fans, you don't want to start doing different things. Players are creatures of habit. I've said that a lot on the show the last couple of weeks. Fans are also creatures of habit. You've got to get to the pub a certain amount of time. What are you eating? What time do you have to get into the stadium? What time do you want to be in your seat? I mean, it's all by design,
So, there's lucky socks, there's lucky boxers, there's lucky all sorts, aren't there? There's lucky hankies,
lucky
everyone's luckies. Everyone's got to try and stick to their routine. If they don't get to the pub at the right time, it could throw the universe out, type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a few questions for Kev, but the purpose of today's show is all questions that you're going to ask have to be North London Derby based only. So you can only ask North London Derby questions. So start lobbing them in, and I will ask them to Kev. Ethelston, a polite Spurs fan, joins us this evening. I need cheering up this weekend after our England team fluffed what would have been a good win. Thanks to Reece James and Pope. Come on, you Spurs. As you know, we do have Spurs listeners that tune in. Ethelston, definitely more polite than Danny, that's for sure. So be brave being in here this week. Just know that the gloves are off. We've got a massive show on Thursday, our major North London derby preview with some key informers and YouTubers. We've got Ricky Sachs on and Anthony Costa from the award-winning band Blue, and Lee Judges, who is going to be my wingman, Super Kev. You'll be hearing from him during the show, but he's got a lot of work on this weekend with the North London derby, of course. So Super Kev appearing on TalkSport Breakfast again this Friday morning, so you're not going to want to miss that. Kev, you've scored in a North London derby. Let's talk about that real quick, because what I want to know is, were you a visualization player? So, for example, you've come in, it's either 2 weeks before or a week before the game. Everyone's mapping out what's going to happen. Here's the game plan. Here's what we're going to do. You go about your business the same. You don't want to, like you said, be too high, be too low. Are you visualizing? Were you a visualization player? Would you put yourself into the game? Obviously, George Graham visualized that Anfield 89. He played it out for you exactly how the game was going to go.
He could do that. He's the manager. the key is, Soph, you've got to keep yourself focused and do the work in training, because you don't know the team. You don't know what the manager's going to do. And George Graham at times used to spring a surprise. So, being able to visualize anything really, you don't even want to do too much of that. What you want to do is, we had a certain way how we're going to play. If there was any wrinkles that he wanted to put into our shape or whatever, that's what we'll do in training. We'll practice that. So it's just to make sure you've got all your keys. You know exactly what you're doing. If you're playing up front, if you're playing wide, virtually you know what we're going to do. Obviously, once you get their team on the day, then you'll have a quick assessment in the dressing room. He'll tell you, right, I want you to do this, do that, do that. And then you're away. But visualization, no.
You didn't visualize yourself scoring before?
No, not really, no. Because that's my job. So I always expect to. But visualization, just because it's the North London derby, no. As you get closer, let's say you get to the game Sunday, so you get to Friday, and you get to Friday, you train Friday, and you start to do more specific work, like the goal scorers start to do a bit more finishing and stuff. That's when all that kind of thing starts kicking in. But from a Monday, it will most probably be functional work. What the manager's seen, how you're going to expose them, how you're going to do it, what you're going to do, X, Y, Z, and you work at that.
Very cool. So you get to, like you said, went later in the week and you're going off into groups, working as units and teams, etc. For the North London derby at home, and some people might know the answers to some of these. We've got a lot of young listeners that don't, because it's very different too in terms of maybe what used to happen even just 10 years ago for games versus what happens now. A team could get on a flight first thing in the morning and go somewhere. A lot of the times you're staying in hotels. Kev, George Graham, when you were playing at Highbury, what was the drill in terms of the preparation the night before? Everyone gets together, or everyone's at home, comes into the stadium the next day?
At home, you sleep in your own bed. Again, you stick to the normal routine. We used to meet at South Hearts Golf Club for a pre-match meal. So we meet there for 11:15. And then you're there and you watch TV, or some of the lads are doing some putting on the green or whatever. And then manager has his team talk. You have your pre-match. He names the team, names the subs. And then we drive from there and we go into Highbury at the time. So you're driving by, and as you're driving through North London, you could imagine you're seeing all the Arsenal fans. And they're shouting and they're beeping the horn, and you're really getting into it then. really getting into it. And but again, you try and keep the routine the same as much as you can, because if George Graham all of a sudden decides, no, I want him in a hotel, you're disrupting what the guys usually do. The guys might want to, read children's stories to his children the night before, and you take that away, and then it disrupts the karma, so to speak. So try and keep it as level and straight as possible.
Okay, cool. And then Kev, just to note, from when you would play at White Hart Lane back in the day, same routine, or would you guys stay at the hotel that you used to use in Hertfordshire and stuff back in the day? Or
no, normally it would depend. Actually, if it was a night game, we might meet up and go early, stop in a hotel. If the lads want to get their head down in the afternoon, they could get their head down, wake up, pre-match meal, staff, team and stuff gets named, then you travel from close by. But normally, if it's a Saturday game, because it's so close, Soph, stay in your own bed. We'll meet up. Listen, we'll meet up. We might go to the ground or meet up at a hotel. Go from there, park the cars, go in, do the team talk, do a bit of food, team talk. You're on the bus, take you to the ground.
So it's the night before. Remind everyone who doesn't know, who was your roommate back in the day?
Well, I had quite a few, but in one of my last ones was Ian Wright. Right, he was my roommate, and
never got any sleep. Did you?
No, he never. I mean, it was.
That's what I meant.
With Wrighty, I mean, it was a laugh a minute, because our door was always open. So you go in your hotel room and you close. Our door was always on the latch. So a lot of the lads were always in and out of each other's rooms, because some lads had stuff. Right, he wanted it. We go, right. He's mischievous, and he look at that smile. He's mischievous. He'll be in someone's room and nick their sweets or something, and he'll be putting it under his pillow and come in, and he'll be like pretending to sleep. You can imagine. And this is the night before a game, away game or whatever. So it was always fun, always a laugh. So if it was always a laugh, because we knew the importance of the game, but again, we're all lads together, all having fun together. So you try and keep it as light as you can, because we know come the next day, or when it comes to closer to the game, that switch goes. And you go from fun and joke to serious mode.
Did you used to sleep well before games, Kev? Especially North London derby. Were you a good sleeper before a match?
I don't sleep a lot. I don't sleep a lot, but when I sleep, I sleep. So, a few hours for me is like 8 for somebody else. And I always slept fine. I didn't have a problem. But I know some nerves, some players need that feeling of the nervousness. Not sleeping, wake up in the morning, go for a walk, gather their thoughts, come back, have breakfast, go up, and, the nerves, go to the toilet about 300 times, and stuff like that. Yeah, seriously, everyone is different, Soph. It's weird it's crazy when you're with a team, and the more you're with them, you obviously start to know their tendencies. Normal games are normal, but the big games, you see the nerves kick in, and you see what they do. So,
would you often, one of those fly on the wall, one of the things we've talked about tonight's show as well, being a fly on the wall, is those one-on-one conversations, like with your roommate the night before big games, because North London derbies, they're the types of games that make, heroes out of players. And I don't care. I'm a fan, Kev, that, I don't care how long you were at the club. If you had a moment like this, to me, you'll forever, ever be in my heart, and it may not have ended the way we wanted to, or the Kolasinac chapter didn't work out the way we wanted it to, but these moments I'll always cherish. And as players, you got, legendary players like yourselves that leave, they're part of an era, they're part of like major history. And then you got players that maybe have cult moments and not necessarily part of the history and all that type of stuff. Do you guys like huddle in the room the night before? You talk about.
We don't talk about the game. That's the weird. That's for the fans. The fans do that because the nervousness. They're not on the inside. When you're on the outside, it's hard. I'm on the outside now, Soph. It's so much harder being on the outside. Because when you're on the inside, you've done all the preparation, you've done the work. You know the game plan. You know all you need to do. Go cross the line and execute it. So the day before the game, you don't talk. You go into each other's room. We don't talk about the game because we know that's what we're going to do. We've prepared for it. We expect to win the game. We've prepared. Let's do it. So, we're talking about other stuff.
Right.
Anything but
the game.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we've loved watching you in North. Talk to us then about these kind of moments as well. So you're preparing for games like this, the Soul with Righty, and they're playing against Parla. Unsavory moments like this. Kev, is that you jumping up?
Yep.
In front of Hal? Is that Steve Howell right there? And there, of course, Gaza, and there's Smudger and Mabbott there, but that's you jumping up. Yeah.
So Paul Stewart is a Spurs player. Gary Mabbott wears smudges. But have you noticed, because there's no wall, because he's that far out, Soph.
Yep.
And the trajectory, it goes around me, because I'm be at the end of the wall. So he's kind of gone around me, and you're expecting, what is he doing shooting? And next minute, it goes in the Seaman can't keep it. It's in the top corner. I mean, what a goal that was, but tell you, it didn't feel good at the time, Soph. I could tell you that much.
No, and I'm thinking before the game, you're not thinking about any negativity or any games like that. And you wake up in the morning. Obviously, now players will have nutritional drinks or shakes. Some still like a little breakfast.
What's that, tea? Tea or coffee? There was you see, this is the different. There was no nutritional drinks back then.
No.
There was none of that. So you either get up, you have water, juice, tea, coffee, go down for breakfast in the morning if you want. Some used to, some didn't. Some used to go and get a rub in the morning if they could. But it was usually we go for a team walk at 11:15.
Mm-hmm.
Team walk at 11:15. Come back. We do that for 15 minutes. Come back pre-match, and then you have omelette or beans on toast and cereal and whatever. You go up. We'd already showered. You go up. You get changed into your blazer and flannels. You come down. Team meeting. Manager will name the team, the subs. He'll tell you what he knows what's expected, but he'll tell you you make sure you stay in the game, make sure you do this, nothing stupid, keep 11 players on the pitch. It's monotonous, but you've still got to say it, because people, as we've seen, people can lose their heads. Then he names it, and we'll get on the coach, and
Is it quiet on the coach?
No.
Is it quiet?
No, it's not actually. It's usually Grovesy would be saying something mad on the coach. Perry Grovesy was always good like that. He would say something crazy on there. Shut up, Grovesy. What are you talking about? And that would cause some stir and blah, blah, blah. But, for the journey, some people will be on the phones. Some people will just be looking at the street. Some people
because everyone's got their beats now, Kev. Do you remember back in the day? I know we had the Walkman, and then you got the old, the CD players, and it went up and up a notch from the 80s to the 90s to the early 2000s when you were playing as well. But now it feels like everyone's in their own head, less talking on the plane or the coaches.
Everyone's focused in their own way, which, back in the day it used to be roommates. Now I believe they all have their own rooms.
Yeah.
Which, listen, you could understand that. You could understand that, no problem. But you know that togetherness. You know, when you're with your roomies and stuff, it to me anyway, just made a difference. Made a
How long
difference.
before the game kickoff do you get there? Like, what was the known? Because each
So
team's different, each
usually,
manager's different,
yeah,
each era.
usually you try and get there an hour and a half to hour 15 before the game. That's long enough in enemy territory. Or if you're at home, that's long enough to get in, sort your tickets out, and the rest is just prep. You know, you don't need to go and look at the pitch because you're at home. You know what the pitch is. So then after that, it's preparation. Boots, your boots are laid out. Check the weather. If you need to change your studs, you go and sort your studs out, and you know, don't leave it to the kit man. You know, that's one thing that the youth team has taught. You don't leave it to the kit man. You go and sort your footwear out, and then you kind of go from there. So once you got all that done, then you're looking at the program. You're having a laugh. You know, some teams used to have music, didn't they, and stuff like that. But you do start to feel as you turn up to the ground, or as you turn, you usually park. We used to park behind the clock end, and you park as you turn from the top and you come down. You just feel the pressure. You could feel the expectation, and that's what I love most of all. Turning at the top and coming down the hill, whether you're on the coach or whether you're driving your car, to feel that you just see all the fans there. That's a special part.
That
That's a real
hour,
special part.
that hour. I used to, as you know, I loved sitting in the North Bank, and but that hour before a North London derby kickoff is massive. It's just so massive as a fan. All the fear starts to set in. Now, we went through a phase, right, Kev, where we didn't have to fear anything but,
Yes,
fear
yes.
itself. And I put some pictures up of back in the, I mean, this was the 71 win at White Hart Lane. And Kev, this was, look at Pops's legs there.
Pops,
Jeez.
Pops.
Adams
Yeah,
and
Adams, Kenny
Sansom
Sansom.
with
It's his
Hoddle.
birthday today, by the way. 64, I
Yeah.
believe. Kenny
Wow.
Sansom. Yeah, 64. Happy birthday, Kenny. I mean, great teams, great
Great
players.
teams. Look at
You
this.
know, great players.
That's you behind Merce right there.
Yeah, Sedge.
Semi-final of the cup.
Yeah, it was again, you know, great. Look at that, great times, and especially if you
These
can get
two
one
kids.
over on the opposition, your rivals, because whether we like it or not, that is what the North London derby is about. For all the pain and the hour before is you got your belly's in knots, right? So I hear it all the time. My belly's in knots. I can't do anything before. But you know what? If you win the game, everything's spectacular, everything's wonderful. And that's one of the games. It doesn't matter how you play. The key is the result.
Yeah. I'll take an ugly. So winning beautiful is winning ugly is beautiful sometimes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got there eventually,
Yeah.
you guys.
No, you're right.
And this is
winning
definitely
ugly
a
is
game.
beautiful.
And I would love to see a repeat of this. Now, you grew up in South London. You grew up as an Arsenal fan. You're an Arsenal fan. You always tell everyone on this show, first and foremost, you're an Arsenal fan. We've just seen Bukayo light it up. We saw the two of them, obviously Smith Rowe in a much different place this season than Bukayo. But you get into play in this game, Kev, and you've told us before about schoolboy dreams, pipe dreams. These two destroyed Tottenham at home last season. And when you kind of put the shirt on, it's one thing. When you're wearing the shirt and you play in a North London derby, but then you score in a match. Can you talk us through that a little bit? Because a lot of the listeners are may have heard you before, but some haven't, and want to hear your take on those moments, what that moment
Well,
was like.
when you support the club and you get the honour to wear the shirt, and it is an honour, you know, you've ticked a box and you fulfilled the dream right there. And then to play in the North London derby and then to score, it's not only is it all your dreams come true, it's something that as a youngster growing up, these are the things you wish. Oh, I wish I could be that player who scored in the North London derby. Dreams, wishes, everything comes into one. And then when you win and you've been on the score sheet in that game, I swear to you, you're probably getting high fives and thank yous and for about 4 months. Honestly, it's nonstop. It really is nonstop. Everybody is so thankful, you know, that you've scored and Arsenal have won. So again, it's special. Those two lads, we know how special they are. Smith Rowe, we know, is having a difficult time with injuries at the moment. But Bukayo Saka, who, as I said at the start, some have kind of questioned he's not this, but his assists and his stats say different. But for him to come to life in this game and take the game away from Spurs would just be, Hale End would just be beautiful, wouldn't it? It really would.
Look how much older he looks than this photo, Kev, from like 2 seasons ago, 2.5. It's crazy, isn't it, to think how he's...
Sophie still looks 10.
I know, but still, he does
10,
look
now
a
he
little
looks
wiser.
8 there. It's unbelievable. I mean, look, the talent and the mindset and the focus and what this young man's already been through, Soph. He's already been through a hell of a lot. And you remember, we said we're going to have to look after him. We're going to have to protect him as Gooners. But we're going to find out about the young man. If he kicks on or if he struggles. And he was player of the season again last season, Soph. Wasn't he? You know, he was player of the season. So that's what he's about. He's about, you know, coming in. He's got the backing of the manager and the coaching staff and the fan base. The fan base have been incredible with him. Let's be honest. The fan base have been brilliant. And are we demanding? Of course we're demanding because we know what he can do. So if we didn't know that he can do it, I don't think the fan base would be so demanding.
Correct.
But he's set his own standard. So if people feel he doesn't hit that standard, I get it. But now he's got a supporting cast, Gooners. Now he doesn't have to be that guy all the time.
And we've wanted that, haven't we, Kev? For a long time for him.
We've wanted that. Yeah.
And you're right, because yes, we've been, you know, respectfully critical when it's not often that happens with Saka. But an example of tonight's game where he could have made it 4-3. And Kev, sometimes I say he needs a shooting coach. Just put your laces through it. It's always more inside of the foot, precision. And I get the angle on that one was a little bit tricky. But that's the part of his game, like to step it up and crank it up another notch, get more goals, put your laces through it, be fearless, take more shots, but take better shots.
Belief. It's a lot of it's belief, Soph. A lot of it's belief. And you know, because it's his weaker foot, you could see he's not as comfortable trying to take it on. Because when he was bearing down on goal, he kind of slowed down and then had to take another touch. Whereas normally, if that was on his left, he would have pushed it more and then done it in one. But I could understand. I understand that. Totally understand that. Because he's not comfortable there, which is understandable. But do you know what? It was a good shot and the keeper had to save it. He had to save it. Just a pity it weren't on his left.
All right. So let's get to some of your questions.
Hi, Lynn.
For Super Kev. Lynn just finished watching the match. Well done, Lynn. Let's get some cues in for Kev. Excuse me, just had still suffering from this, you know, bit of a cold. Kev, let's go. A couple here the same, one from Aston and one from Rancid. I've asked you, but I'm not sure if you've said your personal favourite North London derby moment.
Personal North London derby moment for me was the revenge game. I've got to say, after you showed that free kick, losing that one, we're running away with the league, going into the semi-final against Spurs. You can imagine all the preps done, and that knocked a lot of Gooners for six. That knocked us for six, to be honest. We didn't see that one coming. And then a couple of seasons later, we get the opportunity to take them down, Soph. So there was no way we were going to let that one pass. And skipper Rodders turns up. If you notice, he kind of goes in late and goes round the back. Ball comes over. Great ball in, and he comes in and scores the winner, 1-0. That was like some redemption. You know what I mean? After feeling, when you lose these games, you feel so low. But when you win, you feel on top of the world. And you know that we won obviously both cups that season, and to get that back, that was sweet. Scoring is fantastic. Yeah, love scoring. But that
in the
game,
background.
and as a fan, I think Charlie Nicholas scoring a couple of goals at Highbury when I was scoring a couple of goals, because let's be honest, at the time Spurs were probably better than us. Spurs were better than us, and Champagne Charlie came up trumps that day, and we ended up beating. I think it was 3-2. We beat them or something like that. But Charlie was the darling, wasn't he? And he came up with a couple of goals, and what a game! And I was there, so it was like you can imagine. It was brilliant.
Good stuff. Oh gosh, this has got me going. We're going to be like this all week, you guys. Let's see from Harry. Do you think North London Derby is the fiercest rivalry in terms of teams in the Premier League? I think it's on its way back.
It's on a par with every other one. I can tell you that much. It is definitely on a par with every other derby, and I've been around most. Trust me, I've been around a lot of derbies.
For me, Kev, there was a while where it wasn't competitive because Tottenham were really so average a lot during the Henri, Pires years, Bergkamp. I mean, it was almost, barring a couple of, crazy 4-5s, 4-4s and all that jazz. And I feel now it's like City and United. The rivalry just got better when City got better and challenged and won the Premier League. For us, I think there was a time in the 80s, of course, Tottenham were a really good team, like you said. Then I think Arsenal dominated for 23 years. And then in the last few years, I think it's gotten interesting again because Tottenham haven't won anything and want to be Arsenal in terms of success and built this team, but still haven't won anything.
Oh, they'll never be Arsenal.
Well, they said they want to be. But
they'll never be Arsenal. Trust me. But they've been finishing above us. They've been, they're trying to wax lyrical on all the stuff that look what we've done. We're above you. We're this, mind the gap and all that, and that's the. But this is what it's about. Even with Arteta, we still won a trophy, but they still talk about finishing. So this one, I truly believe this game, especially after the way last season finished, Sophie, is as big a North London derby as we're going to get for a while.
Yeah. It feels really big, this one, because I think the expectations on Arsenal are greater now, especially when you're top of the league. Whereas we've won like the 4-2 Emery, which is one of my favorite North London derbies ever. The vibe, all of it, just incredible. No one was expecting us to win that game. The game in the rain, the Harry Kane mask, no one was expecting us to get a point out of that game. And, you could argue that Lloris fumbled Sanchez's shot, whatever, but we still pumped one in. The game in the rain at the Emirates, I think it was the Mustafi header. No one was giving us a chance. In recent times, they haven't really given us a chance. I think this is a totally different match, Kev, because people think Arsenal are better now. And some people think Arsenal are better than Tottenham. And some people think Tottenham are better than us.
And this is the prove it game. This is another hurdle that, do you know what? After what happened at Spurs last year, some of our players were found wanting. Spurs bullied us to a point.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They bullied us to a point. Our young boys, let's see how much they've grown up. I would like to think they've grown up.
Mm-hmm.
Now's the time to prove it.
I think so too.
They've got designs on doing something big in the league. We've got designs on doing something big in the league. And now we play each other at our place. We've got to take them down. We've got to take them out.
Can't lose. I have to win. I think winning is everything in this game. Of course, a lot of fans will say, "Oh, well, okay, we got a draw at 1 point." No, these are the games that we have to win. Show some anger and show some emotion, as Arteta would say. Okay, let's get some more questions in for Kev. 340 of you in live chat. Chief Like Officer, please let us know what the numbers are as we count down.
Extra fish and chips, Dicko. I love it.
Let's see here. We the medicine. Who starts at left back if Zinchenko is fit? I believe Kev's answered this one for you.
Kieran Tierney's going to start. If he's fit. I mean, look, let's be honest. Zinchenko hasn't played for a while. Kieran Tierney went off, but it was more precaution. So hopefully he's going to be all right. I thought Kieran Tierney against Brentford was outstanding. I really thought he was outstanding. And I think he was starting to get a grip. Not as Zinchenko, obviously, but he was starting to get a grip in his own way of playing in that midfield at times. So we didn't look out of shape. We looked dominant with Kieran Tierney in the team. I thought it was his best game all season. So if he's fit, he plays. Zinchenko probably be on the bench.
One from Rancid for you, Kev. Form goes out the window. Yes or no for the North London?
Yeah, it does. I mean, look, if you
a cliche for a reason.
Well, if you're playing bad, then it's a way out to rectify your poor form. But look where both teams are. Both teams, one's top, one's third. Both teams are in form. So this is, may the best team win.
I'm going to give our shout out to DJ Funksy because he is listening in bed on the island of love, the motherland, before he takes a little kip there. Thank you for listening from the beautiful island of Cyprus. Oh, I can smell it now, Kev. I can smell it from here. Okay, next one for Super Kev. Keep those questions coming in. I'll try and get in as many as possible. Stephen Foote, we hope you're feeling better, Stephen. Them lot are one-trick ponies. So predictable. Agree, Kev?
Well, we do know how they play. And yes, they are counter-attacking team. The key is, Stephen, and this is the real key. As they sit back, we've got to be able to punish them. Mm-hmm. If we punish them, then they have to come out of that set structure, and then we can punish them more. But if you allow them, we've seen it, they've been effective at it. If you allow them to break on you in numbers, they can catch anybody out. They've done it to City. We've seen them do it to a number of teams, and they've got players at the top end of the pitch who are world class. Let's have it right. So, we've got to be smart. We've got to defend better than we did against United. That's for sure.
Yeah, agree with George here. We cannot be as naive as we were against Manchester United, and we'll get punished, and it will be ugly. James Johnston, perhaps you missed the picture at the beginning of the show. Shocked none of you said Henri running the length of the pitch. I was there, East Stand, upper, short hair and all. Turned to my dad, couldn't speak. One of the best goals live I've ever seen. It was a special goal that has been immortalized.
Yes, special goal, but I weren't there, James. I watched it on TV after the event, and obviously great goal, but I weren't there. When you're there, you get it more.
Yeah, for sure. Mikey, can we save Jesus for Liverpool instead of Spurs because he's on the yellow? Do we give Eddie a chance instead? Okay, can I just say in 10 seconds, there's not a chance in
Just
France
answer it
Jesus
for
isn't
me,
playing
please.
this game.
Answer it, yeah.
Right,
Answer
next
it for me.
question. Let's see. What do we got next here? Don One is asking, who are your favorites? Which favorites? Players? Help me
What do you
understand
mean
that one.
favourites for the match?
Favorites. Oh yeah, probably for the match. I think we're favorites at home. We're
Back in
favored.
Arsenal, of course. Got to back Arsenal, definitely.
Yeah, I think even the bookies are backing Arsenal to win at home, especially with the home record and stuff like that. But there's no doubt
But one
about
thing
it.
I will say, Soph,
Mhm.
I think we've been better defensively, apart from the Man United game, away from home. So we got to get it right at home. What is it?
Yeah.
4 games away and 3 clean sheets. So we got to be smarter.
Definitely got to be smarter. Paul asks, are Spurs the best counter-attacking team that we will face?
Not necessarily. I think Liverpool on their day can be more devastating. But they're certainly up there. They are a good, really good counter-attacking team. We know that. Kulusevski, Son's coming to form, Kane, and obviously Richarlison. Which of the 3 out of the 4 plays, we do know that they're dangerous. And we've got to control the tempo, we've got to control the ball. And the key is hurt them. When we get our chance, we've got to take them.
Totally agree. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? Next question from Kenny. Sophie, if Partey's injured, we will lose. It's as simple as that. This game needs maturity and control. Do you agree, Super Kev?
I think we do need Partey. I think there's been there's a witch hunt. Every time something comes out, Partey's injured. Apparently, it was precautionary, and Arsenal have said, look, come back, we'll look after you here. So apparently he's on his way home, isn't he? He's back now, and Arsenal are going to make sure he's all right for the North London derby. Just to add to what Kenny's put there, I think you see a different dominance when Partey plays. Because he's experienced, he knows where to be. You don't see the opposition midfield coming through the centre in droves when he's there. You don't. So I think not that we'll lose, but it's a lot more difficult without him.
I think because of their midfield, which is much improved since January, we need him. Likely, if they were to lose Højbjerg or Betancourt in particular, you could say, okay, they got Basuma on the bench. He's come in close games, but we need Partey. We need Partey and Xhaka to play for us to have a chance to win this game. I think it becomes a lot tougher with Sambi. Maybe it would be tougher if it was away, Kev, versus at home. Sambi might feel a bit more comfortable with that. Quick funny one in between. Casey, did you tell Danny Murphy what you felt about him? You smashed it on TalkSport Breakfast on Friday.
No, because Danny Murphy didn't say it. No,
Danny Mills, I think he meant.
Danny Mills.
Yeah.
Danny Mills. I didn't see Danny, but I don't know if anybody heard what I come out.
Oh, I did. You gave it to Jason as well.
Him and Jason, I give it to them. So they don't know what they're talking about, and they're players. Absolute garbage, absolute nonsense. They're talking, and you know what? Danny Mills has got a son who plays. Right? Now, you imagine his son getting called up, and then
He'd be proud of him, wouldn't he?
You'd be proud of him. You wouldn't be saying, "Oh, we don't deserve it," because in football, you don't get given stuff. You have to prove yourself all the time. So, we've all been there. Danny Mills has been there when he's played first team as a youngster. You've got he'll have a target on his back. That's just the way life is.
Yeah, he was great, Lynn, 100%. And Jason Cundy, we know he takes it. He could go back and forth, and he's going to be on the show.
Yeah,
in November.
We'll get him on before Chelsea, eh? So
Yeah,
Sophie will get him on.
He's coming on. So, yeah, it was a brilliant defense of the situation and the club and of the manager by Kev. And he'll be back on there Friday morning for you guys to listen to.
So I've got to say this. I've got to say this about Jason Cundy. When I heard him say that the manager doesn't care about the young lad,
That got you really
that's the one that
annoyed,
really
didn't it?
that really got me annoyed. Because as a manager, you that's all you are thinking about. Especially a young player like that, you're thinking about protecting him. But if you've seen him training and you think the time is right, you take it, and he did take it. So anyway, I'll let him know. Anyway, sorry, I just had to get that. off.
No, I love it. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. Another quick fun one. Don't know what everyone thinks about this. Is grilled chicken? No grilled chicken. No grilled nothing. Game day, especially.
Yeah, no, you can have grilled chicken. Yeah, you can.
Oh, I was talking about player. Yeah, that's right. It's the players. It's the players. That's right. I lost my place there for a minute.
Yeah, you can have grilled chicken. Grilled chicken beans, some Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Was that your go-to meal? Grilled chicken, Kev?
No.
Or do you like some scrambled eggs?
Day before. That's the night before grilled chicken. But pre-match was probably scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs, Holy Ghost. Sometimes beans.
Now, if you're a fan, you are not having grilled chicken before the game. If you're not having a dirty burger or a fry-up of some kind, then I don't know what to tell you.
What? Can't you have a grilled
Curry
chicken
chips.
burger?
Yeah, but you can have a grilled chicken burger.
What's the buts? Grilled chicken burger.
Every now and again, you're going to go naughty. I would get the curry fries. Boom. Done. Walking. Got your curry fries.
Yeah, but not everybody wants curry. Come on, I mean.
No, I know, but you could get a gyro. You could get Jamaican food now at the Emirates. Outside the Emirates, you can get all sorts of stuff. Just saying, as a fan, there's no grilled stuff on game day.
Come on, Soph. Jerk chicken's grilled. The Jamaican jerk place, the chicken's grilled.
I love it. Kenny says, Soph, this is the difference between Kev, Wright, and Henry. They are Arsenal fans and will defend Arsenal with their last blood. The boys have been living and breathing the red and white army since they popped out of their mother's womb in South London. They don't call them South London's finest for no reason. It's a different vibe. It's a different
South
feeling.
London Gooners, man, I'm telling you. South London Gooners. The connection is always there. The Arsenal were South London first. That's why the connection is always there. Arsenal move across and we come across.
Love it. Kev, here's one for you from 00. Conte will park the bus and hit us on the counter. What should Arteta do, Kev?
To do what we're doing now. Doesn't matter whether they park the bus or not. If we take our chances, this is what we have to do. We will create chances. We're at home. The onus is on us. We create chances. We take the lead. They have to adjust. That's the key.
That is the key to everything. Okay, Lynn's question. And I like it because Lynn's been prodding you on a couple things. She wants to change the position of Marquinhos, if you remember from a couple of weeks ago, Kev, trying to think if he can fit somewhere else in, because when we get excited about players, we want to see them play. She's also been prodding you a little bit about Zinchenko and Tierney. But today's question from Lynn is talking about Benjamin White. You and I have loosely discussed his DM role, in particular when he played in that position several times for Brighton. We've seen his versatility at right back, a player who a lot of people think was shafted, not playing for England in the last couple games over Harry Maguire. Kev, any adjustments like this? I said last week, I can't see Arteta taking such or making adjustments like this in a North London derby, even if Partey's injured.
Ben White is not playing midfield for Arsenal. I can tell you that now. So get it out of your head, Lynn. Sorry. I know you're thinking he could do a job, but you think about it. Even when they were all gone, El Neni and Partey, what did he do? He played Sambi there. Ben White is not playing midfield for Arsenal.
Yeah. I can definitely not see him taking. The reason why Sambi's there is for these moments. You know, Partey gets injured, then Nani would play, and Nani gets injured, Sambi would play. Ideally, you know, uh, it would be
Ideally,
Xhaka
we
and
don't want
Partey.
Partey injured. Ideally, we want
Exactly.
everybody fit. But
Exactly. All right, smash the likes button. Tammy, Chief Like Officer, let us know what we've got. There's almost 400 of you in live chat right now. We're going to need at least 200, and we're just here for a few more minutes. Get any more questions you
how
want
many we
in.
got? Because you know what? I feel it's going to be a poor amount of likes.
Yeah,
I get
I
that
do too.
impression.
I do too. I do too, Kev, which isn't a good start to North London Derby week, is it?
North London
Let's
Derby
be
week,
honest.
you're having the profile of the player, what it's like. Been going for an hour, and they can't even smash the like button for us.
Kev, I wanted to ask you another quick question because this came up. I did a show on Friday and talked a little bit about Tomiyasu on duty with Japan, doing an interview. It's always so interesting, isn't it? The sound bites that come back from international duty and players doing interviews. And how part of the interview obviously was used as a headline and the rest hidden in the story. But the headline is Tomiyasu unsatisfied, and I said, bring it on to the Squaddies. This is what is going to happen now. They're trying to disrupt us. They're trying to disrupt our players. Kev's been telling you this for a long time. Him being unsatisfied is so brilliant. As fans, we should be stoked that he's unsatisfied because actually what he said after that, Kev, was I'm going to fight even harder for my place, not in the headline. Okay. Wanted your quick take on Tommy because I do feel he'll play a part in this game at some point over the weekend. But brilliant to hear that he's unsatisfied with his current position in the squad.
Well, he was a starter last season, and now he's not starting. He understands he's been injured, but as he said himself, you look who's in front of you, and the team are top without you. You know what I mean? The team are top without me. Now we're starting to get more time off the bench, etc. He's going to get his chances, Soph. He's going to get his chances to play. We've got Europa League games coming up, etc. So he's going to get to play minutes. And we're one injury away from him starting. We don't want injuries there. Of course we don't. But I want players who are going to fight for their spot. Not say, oh, I want to leave because I'm not in. No, I want to fight for my spot. That makes the squad healthy, Soph. That's the attitude to have for the Arsenal now. Not, I'm throwing the toys out the pram. No. Do you know what? I roll my sleeves up and I'll bide my time. But I'm not satisfied not playing. I want to play.
Another quick one to roll off from that. You talked about it last week a little bit, but if you could just reiterate to everyone, you're not changing the right back position. You have always made it clear Tommy needs to earn it back. You just said the same thing, but tactically with Son, obviously hasn't been great this season, but scored his 14-minute hat trick after being a bit peeved with his manager for benching him. You're keeping Benjamin there regardless of all of this.
Ben White's been outstanding this season. We could have said the same thing against Zaha. No problem against Zaha. Why should we change? We just won the last game 3-0 at a very difficult place like Brentford. Why are we going to change for? No chance.
I know it's going to be a bit of a busy week, Kev. Do you want to give your prediction closer to the end of the week for the gang? We save our predictions.
I think Arsenal are going to win 2. I think Arsenal are going to win 2-1.
Straight in there, Super Kev, not holding back at all. 2-1. Yeah. Who do you have as your scorers?
I've got Jesus too.
A brace.
Yeah.
For Jesus.
Yeah.
Who, let's hopefully, will take the wheel in this game and become an instant cult hero. One day, maybe years to come, he'll be a legend. But right now,
because you know what,
cult heroes, Kev.
Do you know what, Soph? Yeah, make cult heroes. But do you know what, Soph? When we've played Spurs previously, like even at their place last season, we started pretty well. But we didn't have the zip at the top end of the pitch at centre forward to do them damage. And it's that number 9 spot is where we didn't have the zip. Because we were getting in amongst them, we were getting down the line, but we had nobody there, Soph, to do the business. Now we got Jesus, my Lord. Now we got Jesus.
Also, Kev, can I just say I'm so excited to see how he plays against them at the back. I am, because we keep talking about we didn't have the goals last season, and you're right, the missed chances. You score first in that game. How does it go? Pressure's on Tottenham then.
Yeah.
So very, very different. Now we're talking about who's going to play right back, who's going to play centre back. You know, what's that going to look like? You know, is it Ben? Is it Saliba? And somehow Arteta's found a way to fit everyone in because of injuries. You know, what kind of game is Xhaka going to have? Is someone asked as well, is he going to play the way he's been playing? Is that the Xhaka that we're going to see? Are there going to be moments, for example, where Fabio can come on and have an impact? We've talked about him, the manager. What decisions is he going to make? What's the subs going to look like? But there's so many threads, and we'll be talking about it all this week. But one of the things I am most excited about is how does this guy play in another top level game? Because I didn't think he was great against Manchester United. I didn't. But I also think it's because our defense was exposed from the midfield and some of the mistakes that were coming even from our flanks with holding on to the ball too much and losing possession and not being great out of possession. But I'm really excited to see him play. Kev, are you?
Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about him now. I think watching him play and seeing him play against whoever he's played against, the guy's just cool and calm and collected. He knows what he needs to do, and it doesn't matter who the striker is up there. He will play his game, and he will do the right things. He'll mark them tight. He'll try and dominate them. That's what he will try and do. He will try and dominate them. So, again, Kane, Son, bring them on. Bring them on.
Bring them all on. Right. Give me the count on the likes, because that is about it. 1 hour and 7 minutes in. We've given you, it's the players tonight, the player perspective on getting ready for this game. Kev, what have I not asked you that you want everyone to know about the North London derby? Or what would you like to say to the Squaddies ahead of what is a massive week? For me, it's always going to be, if the result is negative, try and keep your head together. But I might not be able to keep my head together if the result is negative. So I can't promise anything on this show this evening that I'm going to do that in any way, shape, or form. But Kev,
but it's all result driven. Come on, Soph. It is all result driven. Because the build up has started way back already. After beating Brentford, that's when it started. Because everybody knows our next game. And there's an international break. So it's all it's going to do is build all week. Back the team. That's what I will say to fans. Back the team. Back what you're seeing. And we're at home. Support the team all the way through. And we'll get the right result.
Yeah. And I really hope that we master a bit of the dark arts in this one. Because Son was brilliant with the dark arts in the away fixture at the end of the season. He's quite good at that. Even Harry Kane, the way he backs into players. It's the small nuances. You don't have to be Diego Costa dark arts. But you can, master that a little bit, especially at home. Take advantage of those situations, Kev. Don't become the victim of it.
Just outplay them and beat them.
Well, that too.
Whether you talk dark arts or... hey, listen... That only happens.
Conte's it was dirty little git, really.
He was. But listen, they play their way, we play our way. The key is, if we win, it don't matter what they do. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean, what's up with this dark arts business? Look what happened to Holding. I mean, he was an idiot, but Son also goaded him in.
They drew him in.
It happened to, I mentioned it last week, the Diego Costa... I keep forgetting his name. The other Gabriel, the first Gabriel that signed for for Arsenal, getting sucked into that. Senderos used to get sucked into it with Didier Drogba. You know, sometimes now we've got young players, but they're mature players, but there's times where that naivety can come into play. And we saw that naivety kick in towards the end of last season, didn't we, Kev? So in games like this, where you've got a very clever manager and you've got some clever players who like to, you know, goad and rile up younger players and stuff like that, or a hothead. And I don't think we have too many hotheads, barring maybe one or two. It's going to be down to us to kind of manage that process. We've seen it happen to us before, Kev, and we let it get into our heads.
It's happened to us. It even happened to Gabriel last season, didn't it? Against Man City, where Jesus, he went through Jesus, didn't he? And ended up getting sent off. So,
yes.
In what was an absolutely brilliant performance by us, even with 10 men, we kicked on and nearly equalised. Nearly took the game and went ahead again, should I say, because we were in the lead. They equalised and then obviously pipped us right at the end. For us, the key is we do things the Arsenal way. If they want to get naughty, we can get naughty. But we'll play you our way. And then if you want to go down the other route, no problem. We'll roll up the sleeves and smash you up down there. Whichever route you want to do. And that's what the Invincibles were so good at. So that's what they were so good at. You know, they're wonderfully gifted players. But if teams wanted to start getting physical, listen, that team they could get physical too. So brilliant.
Dennis Bergkamp was a dirty little bugger. Right? He knew how to put it about.
He could put his foot in. Don't worry about that. Listen, the Dutch can do that. I'm telling you.
Excuse me, guys. We don't know. We don't want to talk about the ref before the game.
Yeah, let's not.
We're not going to go down that road.
Or VAR.
We're not going to go down that road. Or VAR.
Yeah, we leave that.
Okay, that's all we've got time for today, folks. Brilliant stuff from Super Kev, taking us behind the white lines and making us a fly on the wall as the player takes us into North London Derby week. What's it going to be like? What are you eating? Where are you sleeping? Who are you rooming with? And yeah, some things are different these days. Everyone gets their own room or, you know, however it works out. But Kev, you've played in this game. You've worn an Arsenal shirt. You've listened to all the crap from the stands, you know, from your own fans and from opposing fans. I mean, what a week. This is what makes us love the game. This is it.
I swear to you, I cherish these moments because it's a Monday. So it's a Monday. We play the game on Sunday. And now I get to be a part of the build-up, whereas before I wouldn't even want to. I just do my focus thing. Now I can be part of the build-up. I could talk about it, etc. And I think I'm covering the game. So
for international television or Sky or homegrown.
I'm gonna be in the. I think I'm gonna be in the studio.
Amazing.
On Sky Sports News in the studio with the cans on.
Hopefully
talking about the game. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So you'll be one of the people watching, one of the pundits watching as it's going.
In the studio as it's going, and so they might be talking and they'll be like, "Go! Jesus!" So one of them. If I tell you, you're going to hear it on Sunday. I tell you, you're going to hear it on Sunday.
I love it. Oh, it's a worldie from Saka.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Get it! You know. Oh, geez.
Bias? What bias? There's no bias here. What bias?
There's bias. There's plenty of bias.
No, there is. Yeah.
Oh, plenty.
Oh, brilliant stuff, Kev. Okay, so watch out for that, you guys. You can, if you're in the UK or have a really good VPN, you could watch Kev on Sky Sports doing his thing. Talk Sport this weekend. I'll lob a segment I did last night with TalkSport as well that we'll put up. We'll keep you informed on all the things that are happening this week, and we'll share any guest appearances with you. Super Kev is going for a 2-1. I am not revealing my pick. Thank you, Lynn. I'm not revealing my pick 00 until Thursday's show. So hold on to your horses for that. JJ wants you to please get a Frank Butcher spinning dicky bow for your Sky. I beg you.
James, I only wear Dickie Bowls on Thursdays, mate.
Only Thursdays. Only Thursdays. All right,
But
brilliant stuff.
did he miss the special one? You remember the special one, Soph?
The St. Patrick's Day. That was the best.
No, the one that lit up. Do you
Oh,
remember?
the one what St. Patrick's Day lit up, the green.
No, that never lit up.
Which was the one that lit up? What day was
It
it?
was like
There was a holiday
It
too.
was black with blue,
Yeah, I'll
like
share it.
luminous blue.
I mean, look, there's never
James has been neglecting us anyway.
there's never a time to not look at that. I'm not sure yet, but let's just say I might be watching the game somewhere other than here. And if I do, I'll let you know. And if so, it might be good fodder for our Arsenal America group. So I'll keep you posted on that. Super Kev, I got nothing else for tonight. You got a busy week ahead.
Yes, real busy.
And
real
you'll be
busy.
connecting
It's
with us.
Derby
And
week.
you'll be connecting with us along the way. So stay tuned in our community page and on Twitter, guys, for our show schedules this week. Over to you, Kev, to take us out.
All right, gooners and squaddies, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the build up. Don't get too nervous, but enjoy the week. And make sure you back the team. We get to Sunday and give them all your energy because the boys need it, and the boys probably to go back to the top of the league. We need 3 points against them lot. Let's take them out. So do you know what, squaddies? I'm going to salute you. I'm going to tell you we love you. Tell your loved ones you love them. You never know. Sophie just pulled the samurai. Did you see that? She just pulled the samurai. She's ready. You be ready. I'm ready. Squaddies, enjoy yourselves no matter what you do. Thanks, Don Juan. At ease, squaddies. At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. The Highbury Squad is powered by ZENITH Coins. Support the future, treasure the past. Official licence partner of the Arsenal Football Club. Follow at ZENITH Coins across all social platforms.